It is 6:30. Well, we're looking at warm, muggy conditions this morning, but this could lead to spring thunderstorms, possibly heavy, possibly severe. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
3 Texoma teens say they had a run-in with a cop impersonator, while authorities say it was all just a misunderstanding.
Plus, Oklahoma police are investigating an incident that happened inside a school bus, why it's causing major concern among parents. These stories and more are next.
The news starts right now.
Live from 12 Studios, this is News 12 AM.
Well, good morning, Texoma. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christy Waits.
And I'm Jeremy Thomas. Meteorologist Tom Miller is joining us now to check our forecast. And Tom, we definitely need to get the rain gear in hand for us today.
Yeah, even though we're not seeing any precipitation at the moment throughout Texoma, we're anticipating a pretty spring-like cold front to move through this afternoon. With it, showers and thunderstorms, and there's the potential that some of us could see some heavy thunderstorms with some gusty winds, small hail, as well as some brief heavy rain. And it won't be just this afternoon. It'll also be this evening and tomorrow morning. So we need to be weather aware. Doesn't look like we'll see much in the way of severe storms or heavy storms Friday. But again, later this afternoon, we're going to keep an eye on that front as, again, there's a marginal risk of severe storms. Again, I think the main threat will be gusty winds up to 45 to 50 miles per hour and some brief heavy rainfall. Right now, overcast, some patchy drizzle around. But again, make sure you have the rain gear as you head out.
All right, Tom, thank you. Police say an officer impersonation call in Bryan County was a simple misunderstanding. A call made to the sheriff's office Tuesday night said a man pretending to be a police officer with white lights on his van tried to pull over a car with 3 teens inside. After tracking down the van, speaking with the man, and reviewing surveillance video, deputies say they believe him when he says he was driving over to their car to check on them after he heard one of them scream. The father of 2 teenage girls inside the car says that they all learned a lesson in this situation.
Have your kids fill up during the day, not be filling up at a gas station after hours. Anything can happen this day and time, so yeah, just got to keep your eyes open.
In case you do get pulled over, law enforcement officials say to look for red and blue flashing lights.
A Texas man is facing murder charges after he shot and killed a Sherman woman inside her own home nearly 2 months ago. Clifton Drake was indicted for capital murder after he shot his ex-stepmother, Dale Drake, multiple times in the stomach back on September 14th. Drake's daughter says her mother passed away November 2nd from her injuries. Police say back in September, Clifton led police on a miles-long chase before they actually caught up with him and arrested him. As of now, he remains in the Grayson County Jail.
An Ada teenager was charged after being arrested back in September for walking around in public with an AR-15 and a shotgun. Ada police were called out to Pruitt Road on September 23rd, and that's when Jalen Johnson ran from police, but dropped his backpack in the process. Police were able to later identify Johnson from school papers in his backpack. Police say they found Johnson in possession of several items that were wanted from a series of auto burglaries. Johnson is being charged with 10 counts of third-degree burglary and possession of a firearm after a previous offense.
A second man connected with a 2006 Cook County drive-by shooting was recently sentenced. 40-year-old Jeremy Russell Wallace got 8 years in prison for engaging in organized criminal activity. The sentence was for the 2006 death of 16-year-old Raimundo Torres. The teen died by gunfire in a home on North Morris Street in Eldridge. 37-year-old Jimmy Ray Ellis was sentenced to 40 years behind bars earlier this month in connection to that murder.
Authorities say this Durant man may be headed back to prison after he was accused of stealing an ATV earlier this week. Deputies say Jason Ray Waller broke in to get another man's four-wheeler and pushed it off his property to steal it. He's charged with third-degree burglary and grand larceny. If convicted, he could spend up to 10 years in state prison. He's been to prison before for larceny, a drug charge, and concealing stolen property.
30-year-old Joshua Dwayne Harrison of Arlington is behind bars after he was charged with trafficking illegal drugs and other drug-related misdemeanors. Court records show Chickasaw Light Horse Police arrested him Tuesday with more than 30 tablets of ecstasy, scales, and baggies. He is being held on a $50,000 bond and will be back in court December 18th.
Authorities in North Texas recovered almost 1,000 pounds of marijuana during a traffic stop in Collin County. According to the Collin County Sheriff's Office, authorities pulled this RV over Monday. That's when they say they found 976 pounds of marijuana and more than 2,000 THC vaping cartridges inside. Authorities arrested 51-year-old Joe Wong, who was driving the drugs from California to Georgia. He was released on a $100,000 bond.
An investigation into cannabis gummy candy as a student got a hold of some and actually passed them out to other kids on a school bus.
And since then, that student has been expelled. Angelica Brown has the latest.
Word spread quickly.
Yes, it does concern me.
Twyla Gibson's reaction when she heard the news of a student passing out cannabis gummies on a school bus.
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think the kids should be allowed to have anything like that.
To ask her if she ate anything, if anybody gave her anything that day.
This parent didn't want to be identified but says her 10-year-old daughter was on the bus when the candy was being passed out.
Apparently it was towards the back of the bus, not the front of the bus.
The school district got word of what happened and called the police department. Oologah PD says a middle school student was responsible and they've since been expelled. The police department took a report and says they'll hand it over to the Office of Juvenile Affairs, but it's still unclear how this student got a hold of this pot candy, if they somehow got it illegally on their own or took it from someone from their home.
I think if the parents are going to have them, they need to keep them put up to where the kids can't get a hold of them.
But I think the parents should be talking with their children.
Luckily, no students had any weird side effects from the candy, but now some parents plan to have a different conversation with their kids.
Definitely, kids need to know not to just take anything from anybody.
And that was Angelica Brown reporting. A Howe student has been kicked off campus for making a threat. Howe ISD sent out this letter to parents saying they received information about a threat made toward their high school. The letter says that student will not be returning to the campus for an unknown amount of time. Police were notified about the incident. So far, no other information is being released at this time.
Two media companies are coming together to form the largest newspaper chain. Gatehouse closed its $1.1 billion takeover of USA Today publisher Gannett. It's becoming the nation's largest newspaper company by far, bringing together about 260 daily papers, including two Texoma papers, the Herald Democrat and the Armorite. The combined company will keep the name Gannett. There will be layoffs as the publisher looks to cut $300 million in annual costs. Let's go ahead and get a quick check on our morning forecast. We have meteorologist Tom Miller joining us now, and can't believe we've been spoiled with those temperatures, but now the rain is coming.
Yeah, not only the rain, but cooler temperatures as we see the passage of a cold front. But this is, again, the middle of November, so we do expect, again, some cooler conditions. And that is exactly what we are going to see as, again, the radar is showing very quiet conditions right now. The first wave moved through last night, maybe a tenth of an inch in your rain gauge. Right now, a little breather before the actual front, which is to our northwest, starts to make its way through the area, triggering scattered showers and thunderstorms. And this time tomorrow morning, that second wave moves in. That's currently across California. There we go. Looking at our TMC tower cam that's sponsored by Blackbeard Marine, looking over 75 as we look off to the southwest. And again, we may have little pockets of little drizzle here and there, but weather aware. Make sure you have the rain gear as we're anticipating showers and thunderstorms this morning towards noonish, especially this afternoon into this evening, and then a little break after midnight. And then about this time tomorrow, some showers and thunderstorms. But again, some of those storms could be heavy later this afternoon, and it's all due to this guy right here. That's that cold front moving through the area. And again, it will have an opportunity to reach a atmosphere that's recharging itself with some warmth and some moisture, as temperatures are still quite warm with 66 in Ada, 63 in Antler, 64 in Durant with 65 degrees in Sherman and Denison. Winds are still out of the south to southeast, again pulling that moisture into the area at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now the front has done a job on the temperatures. We're down to 36 in Woodward behind the front, 40 in Elk City. Oklahoma City's seen the front move through. They were at 62. They're now at 58, and we have 66 degrees, well out ahead of the front in Dallas-Fort Worth. Elevation at Lake Texoma at 618.36 feet. The water temperature is 60 degrees, so scattered showers anticipated a little later on this morning. And as we head into the lunch hour and thereafter, as that front moves through, some showers and thunderstorms, and some of them could pulse up to heavy possibly just barely reaching slight severe limits. And the reason why is, again, they could produce some gusty winds as well, some small hail. We'll watch that very carefully. And then things taper off again after midnight, and then the secondary wave moves in tomorrow morning. But the good news is it should be done with by around noontime, so we won't have to worry about any rain for those playoff football games. But it's going to be much cooler and windy as we head into Friday evening and Saturday morning. There you go. We're looking at anywhere from an inch to possibly over 2 inches of rainfall across certain areas of Texoma. Mainly eastern areas will see the heaviest of the rain. On and off showers and thunderstorms possible, especially this afternoon. High temperature near 70 degrees, and then that wind will kick around to the north as the front moves through. 10 to 20, 90% chance of evening showers and thunderstorms. Again, after midnight, I'll drop that to a 30%, a low of around 43. North winds of 5 to 15, and then we'll have a pretty good shot at rain and thunderstorms tomorrow morning. I think by around lunchtime, we'll decrease that rain to really just take it out of the forecast. A high of around 53 with falling temperatures in the afternoon. We'll drop down to 32 or near there Saturday morning, a high of 57. 64 Sunday, so the weekend looks good, and Monday looks good as well. Mostly sunny, 68. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms next Tuesday.
After bombshell testimony yesterday, we'll hear from 2 more witnesses in front of the House Intelligence Committee. I'm Skyler Henry here on Capitol Hill with day 5 of public impeachment hearings.
A concrete food worker at one Texas school district is facing child pornography charges after a hidden camera was found in Texas elementary school bathrooms.
TJ Parker has more on that story.
A hidden camera installed in the boys' bathroom at Northside Elementary School. Police say school maintenance workers found it Monday with pictures of students on it.
They're just kids. They're just innocent kids coming to school to learn.
I'm praying to God that my son is not a victim of this.
Police arrested 42-year-old Scott Gallardi. The district says he was a third-party contractor working for the school.
But just the fact that this guy was here inside the school is just pretty disturbing.
Yes, and he's been here for years.
What else are we going to endure next?
This is definitely an individual case, but there has been a couple other incidents.
Earlier this year, the district said a substitute teacher was fired after filming pornography inside a classroom at El Campo High School. Police also investigated a food worker at another school who they say was sending inappropriate messages to students.
Reevaluate your staff. These are somebody else's kids. These are not your children, but it is your job, your obligation to make sure these kids are safe.
The district says they do background checks on anybody working at their schools. As for Gallardi, police searched his Rosenberg home, reviewing more evidence. They say they won't ID any of the kids caught on camera because none of their faces were seen.
Being the third time that something like this has happened this year, is this not surprising to you, hearing about this?
Not with El Campo, no.
In El Campo, I'm TJ Parker, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
2 more officials will be on Capitol Hill today to testify in the impeachment inquiry. It will be the 7th and possibly the final public hearing for the House Intelligence Committee.
Yesterday, lawmakers heard some of the most explosive testimony to date, with the president's hand-picked ambassador to the European Union suggesting there was a quid pro quo. CBS Skyler Henry has more.
Everyone was in the loop.
Gordon Sondland's lengthy testimony on Wednesday was perhaps the most damning to date.
Was there a quid pro quo? The answer is yes.
The ambassador to the European Union says he learned through Rudy Giuliani that President Trump expected Ukraine to publicly announce investigations into the Bidens and the 2016 election. In return, a coveted White House meeting.
Mr. Giuliani was expressing the desires of the President of the United States, and we knew these investigations were important to the President.
Sondland said he presumed U.S. military aid that was being held up at the time was also part of the deal, even though it was never mentioned to him by the president. Republicans were quick to jump on that point.
The aid was my own personal guess, based again on your analogy, 2 + 2 = 4.
They get the call, they get the meeting, they get the money. It's not 2 + 2, it's 0 for 3.
President Trump declared victory.
Not only did we win today, it's over.
After Sondland's testimony, defense official Laura Cooper revealed the Ukrainians were aware the military aid was held up on July 25th. The same day, Mr. Trump brought up the political investigations in a phone call with Ukraine's president.
A member of my staff got a question from a Ukraine embassy contact asking what was going on with Ukraine security assistance.
Embassy staffer David Holmes, who overheard a July 26th phone call between Sondland and the president, testifies today, along with former White House Russia advisor Fiona Hill. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
From the Weather Authority, here's Tom Miller.
Overcast skies, some drizzle. We already had one little shortwave move through yesterday evening, produced some rain, about 1/10 of an inch. It's already into portions of eastern Arkansas, and we're waiting for the frontal system and the second upper level system to move through. Let's look at our TMC tower cam. You can see roads a little bit on the wet side underneath that overcast. This is sponsored by Blackbeard Marine. It is a weather aware day, as we're anticipating more so this afternoon and this evening. Some rain and thunderstorms, and some of those thunderstorms could misbehave, if you will, producing some gusty winds up to about 45 to 50 miles per hour, and maybe some small hail. We'll have that opportunity of thunderstorms as well tomorrow morning, more in the form of heavier rain. And the reason why is that upper level system over California will be moving in then. But the front itself will be moving in this afternoon, and that will help to trigger those showers and thunderstorms. Not saying we could see some stray showers this morning, but the bulk of the rain will be this afternoon. The cold front just to our northwest. Well, Duncan's at 63, 64 in Atoka. We have 65 in Sherman and Denison. Ardmore, you're at 64, 66 in Ada. And winds are still out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Out at Lake Texoma, the elevation 618.36 feet and the water temperature 60. And as we head into the 9 o'clock hour, we'll probably start to see some scattered showers developing along the front. And then as that front progresses across Texoma, I wouldn't be surprised to see a few showers turn into thunderstorms. And hopefully they'll behave themselves. But again, this atmosphere is like a spring-like scenario with a high dew point temperatures, a rich atmosphere, and even a clash of cool and moist air. So potentially we could see some thunderstorms develop this afternoon into this evening. I think around midnight we'll get a little bit of break, and then the second shortwave moves into the area, and that'll bring us a chance of showers and thunderstorms about this time tomorrow. Some of that rainfall may be heavy. Rainfall amounts, possibly 1 to 2 inches in your backyard, and we are looking at, again, hour by hour, temperatures settling into the upper 60s, into the lower 70s. Once that front has a chance to move through your area, probably those temperatures dropping back into the 60s, but we'll go near 70 this afternoon ahead of the front. North winds at 10 to 20, and as that front moves through, again, we're looking at a wind shift and the potential for some showers and thunderstorms, some of them heavy this afternoon into this evening, about a 90%. And look at that temperature dropped around 43 degrees. I think after midnight I'll drag that percentage down to about 30%, but boost it back up to around a 70% by around 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. That's when we expect that next upper level wave to move through, and it's going to be much cooler, 53 with those north winds at 10 to 25. For the ball games, no rain, that should stop around 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but it's going to be cool and windy with eventually a low of 32. But Saturday looks pretty good, a little cool, 57. Sunshine on Sunday, 64. Near 70 on Monday, and then Tuesday, the next cold front moves in.
All right, thank you, Tom. Sherman ISD's community meeting last night brought a new batch of parents and teachers to Crutchfield Elementary to understand what the district calls Transition 2020. It was the 5th community meeting held this month. These meetings follow the same agenda so parents and staff can get the same information on these district changes and then share feedback. Changes that require rezoning the entire district to avoid issues of overcrowding. These zone changes are set to hit Sherman middle schools in 2020 and elementary schools in 2021. Daniel Card and his wife have lived in Sherman for the past 5 years and plan to send their toddler to Sherman schools when she's old enough to enroll. The zone they live in is slated to change.
Is my kid going to have a desk, the books and stuff, so the overcrowding issue hopefully will be situated where, we don't have to worry about that stuff. So yeah, a little more confidence in the school district after this.
Next month, these attendance zone plans will be brought to the school board along with all of the parents' feedback collected at these community meetings. The final community meeting will be held tonight at 6 at Pioneer Middle School.
A Fannin County nonprofit needs donations for their Hope for the Holidays program.
News 12's Braley McCoy talked to the director about what they're doing to spread holiday cheer to people in need.
The Fannin County Crisis Center is asking for help to fulfill people's needs for the holiday season.
We would hope that we can provide them a nice Christmas meal that they may not be able to afford otherwise, and that they can get decent presents for their kids.
Director of the Fannin County Crisis Center, Carol Pillars, says they're a nonprofit that serves victims of violent crimes. But during the holidays, they expand their purpose to help anyone in need.
Well, there are a lot of families in the Fannin County area that really can't afford very much Christmas for their kids.
The center has free coats donated to them sitting in their lobby for anyone to take. Another sign of the season, the annual Hope for the Holidays program.
We partner with Bonham Police Department and Clayton Homes to provide Christmas food boxes and Christmas gifts for the community.
Last year, they provided a Christmas meal for over 100 local families. All of that purely donations. Pillars says every penny helps fund these meals and gives families a chance to go Christmas shopping.
In a couple of weeks, we schedule all the families so that they can do their own shopping out at Walmart.
Pillars says donations can be made in person, by mail, or online, and they're always looking for volunteers. Pillars encourages anyone who needs immediate help to call the hotline number at the bottom of your screen. Reporting in Fannin County, Braylee McCoy, News 12.
Now here's a look at what's coming up on CBS this morning.
Coming up, what EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland's bombshell testimony could mean for the impeachment inquiry. Plus, forging a new future. We show you a surprising safe haven for veterans living with PTSD. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
Not much rain this morning yet, but we are expecting some scattered showers later this morning and rain and thunderstorms as we head into this afternoon, into this evening. A cold front's going to be pushing through the area. And then tomorrow morning, the upper level system, the second one, moves through, giving us a pretty good shot of rain, some of that rainfall heavy. But behind the cold front, we are looking at much cooler temperatures. We could be slipping into the upper 40s by the afternoon with those north winds at 10 to 25. For the ball games, those playoff football games Friday night, looks to be dry, but it's going to be cold and windy. Well, look at the overnight lows. Saturday, 32 degrees, but at least the sunshine will be out for us. Late morning into the afternoon, Saturday, 57 degrees. A beautiful Sunday, sunny and 64. Not bad Monday, 68. Another opportunity of rain on Tuesday. But again, Christy, this is more of a Canadian Pacific system, not a cold Arctic front.
As I say, those temperatures really don't even look that bad.
Not bad
so
at
that's
all.
Good. All right. Thank you so much, Tom. And thank you for joining us. We hope you have a fantastic day.